Hello everyone, Starkey 2014 back here again. Uh, First off, I want to say, if you're watching these videos, please do like, share, comment, and subscribe. It does help out tremendously with getting more people watching this channel and learning about things, and also getting to listen to the entertaining and funny stories that I do have. This one's going to be one that's more on the funny side, instead of like serious. But I think it's one that you guys will like, and I might even put out another story tonight. I'm thinking about it. But without too much further ado, we're going to jump right into the story. I got 25 minutes available to record, so we're going to see how long it takes me to get this story out. I don't think it'll be that much of a long one, because there's not much to it. But anyway, this takes place back in, I want to say it was 2018, but it could have even been 2019. And the two characters that are in this story, I'm not going to put out their actual names. I'm just going to call them, what are we going to go with this time? I think we'll go with Steve and Nelson. That sounds good. We'll go with Steve and Nelson. That was these two guys' names that are going to be in the story. Steve and Nelson. So, Steve and Nelson were both staying at my house on this night. Sorry, I'm getting a giggle out of calling them Steve and Nelson. I just thought it was kind of a funny name, the Nelson part. But anyway, back to the story. So, Steve and Nelson staying at my house, and my uncle had made 5 gallon of homemade wine. The same uncle I told you about before in the other video about drinking. But anyway, so what happened was they were staying at my house, and we were into my uncle's wine while he was sleeping, and he didn't know we were out drinking his wine, and we didn't tell him. And we ended up drinking most of the 5 gallon of wine all by ourselves, just us three, just me, Steve, and Nelson. And we also got crossfaded this night because we were smoking pot too. So if you don't know what crossfaded is, just go look it up. There's probably a video out there on that. So I'm not going to explain that in detail. But anyway, we end up getting crossfaded, right? And we get a nice buzz going. And then we're out walking around in the yard, and my grandparents they owned 2 acres of land. And the 2 acres of land were right next to each other, and there was a creek separating the 2 acres. And there was a bridge that we would cross over to go to the second acre, not where we lived at in the house, the other acre. And if my grandma had caught us drinking, she would have been pissed, but I don't think she caught us until the next day. But she was one mad woman when she found out. But anyway, so me, Steve, and Nelson go over to the other acre across the bridge from the house. And there was this kind of steep hill, but it was nothing but grass. It wasn't gravel, so you wouldn't get hurt. And we were playing King of the Hill is what I like to call it, because that's basically what it was. We were playing King of the Hill. And what happened was, I'm pretty sure I initiated it and I started it because it reminded me of something that my grandpa did to me when I was younger, and I'll explain that. So when I was younger, growing up, I was about 9, 10 years old at the most. My grandfather was sitting halfway up on the steps of the house that is on the acre I'm talking about, where the hill is. And my little cousin come up to me, and he was running like he was going to hit me. So I just put my hand out like that, and he fell down when he hit my hand. And I didn't hurt him or anything. I just let him know, hey, don't hit me. And then what happened was, my grandfather, he was sitting there on the steps, like I said, and I walk up the steps to go tell my mom something. And when I do, I get about halfway up the steps where he's sitting, and he grabs me by the throat and choke slams me down the hill that we're talking about in this story. And I slide halfway down the hill, and I didn't get hurt or nothing. He was just letting me know not to do that to the little cousin, not hurt him. But anyway, back to the story, the main story of what I was telling about the drinking. So, me, Steve, and Nelson's at the hill, and we're just talking, standing there looking around at the nature and stuff. Because we always were outside doing this stuff and talking and just bullshitting and having a good time like friends do, you know. And I go and decide that I'm going to push Steve down the hill just for fun, not trying to hurt him or anything. But I push him down this hill, and he gets a laugh out of it, and he comes up that hill mad as a motherfucker. And when he does come up that hill, he goes and he starts pushing me down the hill, and I fall down the hill. And then after I got back up the hill to Nelson and Steve, uh, Steve ended up pushing me down the hill, I think, because he wanted to get in on the action too. And whenever he pushed me down the hill, one of the times that I got pushed down the hill, I remember they thought they hurt me because I didn't say anything or get up at first. But I did land pretty hard, but I didn't get hurt or nothing or hit my head. But I lay there like this for a minute, like on my back, and I was just like, you motherfuckers! And then they started laughing. And then I go back up the hill and I push one of them back down the hill, and I'm not sure how many times people got pushed down the hill that night, but we had a blast doing it. And the next day, my uncle was pissed off because we drank all of his wine, and I caught a bitching from my uncle. He was pretty mad. Like he could have probably fought me over this, but I was his nephew, so he wouldn't, actually do anything to hurt me. But he did have a talk with me about drinking his wine. And he was pissed. But that's going to be about the end of this story. I see we went on for about 7 minutes here. I know it's a little on the shorter side, but there wasn't a whole lot to this story. Uh, if you guys do enjoy the content that I'm putting out, like I said in the beginning, please do like, share, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. It does help out. And I am going to have maybe another story coming tonight because I got a funny one about smoking pot that I want to tell. And it mentions the buddy Steve that I had in this video. I'm going to use the same name, Steve, for him. And that's just going to be what his name's going to be from now on, I think, is just Steve. Because he's in a lot of the stories I've got, Steve is. Steve and I used to be real great buddies, hung out all the time, every day almost. But that's going to be about the end for this story. Starkey 2014, out like sauerkraut. Peace, y'all.